Damn. So it's kind of come down to this, and it's so unfortunate, and it's so confusing, and it's the strangest thing that I've ever seen in sports ever is the collapse of this Liverpool team in less than a season. That 10 years of rebuilding this culture that has been alive for 80 years, right? And that we just got back to what we were and who we are as a club, and the fabric of this club has been completely undone because you look down at that pitch and they don't look like they're ready to play football. Reese made a really good point here, and I'll put it on screen. That this team just looks like it's not wanting to play football, right? And that's alarming. And on top of the fact, Reese also mentioned we're past alarming at this point, right? But that's besides the fact that not only do the players look not very interested in playing football, and some of them look like the pressures on the pitch and off the pitch are starting to affect them, like VVD, like Konaté, who's essentially given us an error game at this point. Kirkes, even our young right backs and Connor Bradley and Frimpong, all the way up the pitch. I'd say the only player in this entire team that doesn't look like the moment is getting a hold of him, believe this or not, is Dominic Szoboszlai. I'd even say Mo Salah, who we know is a veteran, who we know is a pro and has gone through all different types of stuff in his career, looks rattled by this moment. And it looks like Arne Slot is out of ideas. It's not, it looks like actually. Arne Slot has run out of our ideas. He confirmed it in his interview yesterday that I'm at a loss too. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me as well why we're conceding so many goals. 6 goals, boys. 6 goals is how many that we've conceded at Anfield in the past 2 days, boys. In the past 2 games, sorry, past 4 days. And against teams that we should be beating handily at whatever level that Liverpool has at ever, right? You ever to be say team, you should be handling them. I don't care if they're the champions and they're top of the league. A bottom of the table Forest team in terrible form who has most of their players that were taken away from them in the summer. We should be handling them, not getting hammered 4-1 at home, not getting hammered 3-0 at home. It's not making sense how the culture can be completely unraveled in such a short period of time when on paper we've gotten so much better. A lot of people will look at these things and they'll say, well, we took away Nunes, which I've said, Nunes, who was our runner and who, added that extra body in there. And Diaz looks like that was a bad sell and all of the. Honestly, I think if they were in this side, I don't think very much would change. You really think putting Diaz into this side would have turned those results around? I don't think so. I think Verts is a supremely talented footballer, and 10 times the footballer Luis Diaz is, and he's in this side and can't make it work. Isak, same thing. 10 times the forward that Nunes, maybe not 10 times, 2 times the forward that Nunes is. If Nunes had finishing, okay, let's not go down that rabbit hole. I don't think that would change much. So it gets to the point of where do we go from here, boys? And I want to know what you guys think down below. Put down below, where do we go from here as a club, as an organization? What is the solution? Because it seems like FSG is not going to move forward with appointing a new manager, and they're not apt to appointing a new manager and being swift to letting him go. I don't even think it would be swift at this point. I think it's actually quite justified if FSG did pull the trigger on it. I would support it. And sticking with him, I don't know if I would support it because you can't lose Anfield. And I'm a Slot supporter, and you guys know that. And I've glazed him and talked about all the great things that he's done for this club all last year and even a majority of this year. But you can't lose Anfield. That is the big no-no that no manager can do if you're managing Liverpool FC. As soon as you lose Anfield, you lose the club. And that's it. When you have these hardworking people that are paying tickets to come see Liverpool FC midweek, and these performances pop up at Anfield against teams we should be handily beating, it's a disgrace. And it's not Liverpool. And it breaks my freaking heart even saying this because I really liked Arne Slot as a manager. I loved the way that his demeanor. I loved the way that he handled tactics. I loved the way that he lined up the squad and the style of play all last summer. I said this in the last video. I'll say it again. It's almost not like the same squad. It's almost not like the same manager. And something is happening behind the scenes that I think we need answers around. And we may not even get answers for years, man, until a player comes out with some sort of memoir or something like that, or a player gets brave enough to talk about it in the press of what is actually going on behind the scenes. Is Diogo's death really weighing that heavily on the squad? Is it something beyond that? Did Arne lose the dressing room? Because it looks like these boys do not want to run through a wall for him the way that they wanted to run through a wall for Klopp. And the way that they wanted to run through a wall, I would even go as far as say, for him last season, boys. I remember Ibu rushed back from injury to be a part of this squad and make the push for Champions League and make the push for Premier League. And this squad was unified and it was tight and we looked unbeatable and no one could stand in our way. This was last season without Jurgen Klopp, boys. Forget Jurgen Klopp in that era. Beautiful, right? People forget at the end of Jurgen Klopp's era, they were calling for his head too. But I'm talking about last season with this manager and a majority of the same team. You can't say you took the heart out of the team. Who was the heart? Nunez? Diaz? Elliott? Simicas? I don't think so. We didn't let go of our big players. We tied our big players down. We did exactly what the fans want, what I wanted, what you wanted that's watching this. We did everything that everything we asked FSG to do, they did. We re-signed Salah, they re-signed VVD. We went out and we got big names. We made statements in the transfer market. We got Verts, we got Isak, we got Kirkes, who was the best left back in the Premier League at the time. We got Frimpong to replace Trent as a statement in the same week that he left to Real Madrid. Everything that we wanted them to do, they did. And it didn't work. It didn't work. And it's not working. And I think the experiment is done. I think the experiment is done. And I get it. It's trust the process. But if we trust the process for too long, we can end up in a situation like Manchester United, where we're perpetually trying to get back to the top. And it's been over 10 years since they've won a major, right? Since they won the Premier League. I don't want that to happen with this Premier League team. Well, this Liverpool team. That is the risk that we run if we continue down this path. And that's my main question for you guys. Who do you even replace Arne Slot with right now? Because it can't get worse than this, can it? Because I don't have confidence from one game to the next that things will improve and get better and we'll actually recover and get wins when we're losing against bottom of the table teams in tier 2 leagues, teams in tier 2 leagues like the Eredivisie. And respect to the Eredivisie, they have some fantastic footballers that they produce, but they're not at our level. And we should be handling them regardless of whether they're champions, regardless of whether they're top of the league, because the Premier League is just better quality. So when those types of things start to happen, it's deeper set than a run of form, in my mind. So let me know, who do you guys think we replace Arne Slot with? Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm Arne Slot in. I don't know if I'm Arne Slot out. But I'm starting to think about it. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel if you guys feel so inclined, if that's your vibe. If not, keep popping up, hanging out with us, and expressing what you guys are thinking. We'd love to hear what you guys think down below. And if you feel even more inclined, join our Discord. We have a really cool Discord where right now we're kind of laughing at our own pain. But appreciate all you guys, almost at 10,000. Another thing that's scaring me a whole ton is that a lot of these players that were world-class last year are now world-class this year. Almost everybody on the pitch is a shadow of their former self outside of Dominik Szoboszlai. Dominik Szoboszlai is the only player on that pitch that looks like he was a champion last year. Ryan Gravenberch has seen a drop-off in form. McAllister doesn't even look like his name should be Alexis McAllister, who I thought was one of the best midfielders in the world last year, like top 5. And now, is he even one of the best midfielders in the Premier League right now? I'm not sure. Ryan Gravenberch was the best defensive midfielder in the world, statistically and through the eye test. I'm not sure about that right now. Mo Salah was the best player in the world, in my opinion, in terms of output, production, game changing ability. I thought he was the best player in the world last year. Is he even the best player on Liverpool right now? These are things that are concerning, and you got to get answers to. And unfortunately for Arne Slot, this is the big leagues. You with the big boys now. You support Liverpool. You coach Liverpool FC. These are answers that we need to have now. Now that you are a manager of a big club and you aren't afforded and allotted a whole ton of time, FSG has been extremely graceful, I think, with Arne Slot. If Slot was at any other club, City, Chelsea, well, maybe not United, because United is riding out this Amarim train as well. Tottenham, even Arsenal, he would have been out of the door. So FSG is giving him a lot of grace and a lot of time. But I'm curious, what happens now? Is it over? I think these next 24 hours are going to be very, very crucial, very important. Keep an eye on those news feeds because I think we're going to have some serious developments as to Arne Slot's future and where it goes. I think if he isn't let go in the next 24 to 48 hours, strap in, boys. He's going to be here for the rest of the season until they can find someone that they feel is a suitable replacement. So I think about some replacements for Arne Slot, right? Moving forward, if that does happen within the next 24 hours. You look at guys like Andoni Iraola. If you watch my last short, that's a no for me. You look at Ange Postecoglou, that's a no for me. I heard that rumor as well. There's some people saying Inzaghi, that's a no for me as well. He doesn't back youth players. I do like Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas, and some people, no, he's an Arsenal, blah, 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 whatever. Cesc Fabregas is a very good coach right now. What he's doing with Como is very impressive, reminiscent of what Arne Slot did with Feyenoord, of taking a lower league side that has some decent investment and being able to build up. They look like they're probably going to finish top 4 this year if they can hang on to Cesc Fabregas for that long. And who knows if Cesc even wants to leave in such a good space right now. But the way that he builds up, and I'm going to do a whole video around Cesc Fabregas and his tactics and the way that he builds up and all of those types of things, and why I feel like he fits really well with this Liverpool side. High pressing, very attacking minded, and you would think a protege of Pep Guardiola, that he would want a ton of possession. He does, by nature, get a ton of possession with his team. He has the highest possession percentage in the Serie A, I believe Como does. But they are very attacking minded. He wants to get the ball to the opponent's attacking third extremely quickly and doesn't sit around and loiter around in their attacking third like we're doing right now with Arne Slot. It's very decisive. He loves his players taking a lot of shots. And the way that he builds up is very conducive of 2 number 10s being able to play in pockets of space and playing in wide forwards and a center forward and 2 very advanced wing backs. Does this sound familiar to you guys? And Nico Paz, if you haven't looked up this kid, he's very, very good. And Cesc Fabregas has turned Nico into the best player in Serie A right now. And Real Madrid is probably going to recall this kid before the end, probably at the end of the season, and he'll join Real Madrid and that super team and those types of things. But the reason why I bring this up is because I feel like he can do the same thing with Florian Wirtz in this Liverpool side, given that we have very attacking minded wingbacks. And then we also have we don't really have wide players that can touch the touchdown line like that. Salah and Gakpo are going to have to learn a couple things if he's the pick. I like Julian Nagelsmann. World Cup year. We don't know if that's going to work. In the interim, Steven Gerrard works for me as well. But I will do a whole video on the pros and cons of everyone that I think could potentially replace him because I don't. Michael Edwards doesn't strike me as a man that he's very patient, obviously, and he knows he knows when to wait for his target and the one that he really wants. But I also think he doesn't like wasting time, and when things are bad, he'll act on it. So we'll see. Like I mentioned before, the next 24 hours is going to be very important, guys. Very important for this club. But let me know what you guys think down below. Just some thoughts after another tough loss. Appreciate all of you guys coming on the journey. We'll see you on the next one. Hey, keep your eyes and ears out. And if it drops, come back to the channel. You know I'm going to be dropping, boy. Peace.